tutorials. Today's video is going to be about how to make labels for your projects you're currently working on. First thing to do to get started is we're going to go up to New and Annotation Symbols. All labels, text, type annotations, symbols for POCs, basically any of these things are all an annotation symbol. So we'll click on New. This particular category, I'm going to use a multi-category tag because I'm going to be trying to tag conduit fittings, and cable tray all with one label. If you're not going to cross multiple categories, generic tag will get you pretty much everywhere. Generic annotation will get you everywhere you want to go. So we're going to do a multi-category tag. Alright, so when we get started here, there's only a couple of real key tricks to making sure these work for our best advantage. First off, as soon as you start the label command, by the way, which is on create and then label, you can see that there's a 332 text. JH Kelly wants to own everything that we produce. So we're going to go ahead and just add JHK 332. Now that way our text style cannot be redefined by somebody else's project, and we don't have to worry about their fonts taking ownership of ours. Alright, so JHK label is current. So if you open a generic tag, there's a big red note over here that's just for the drafter's reference. It just says that the insertion point is the intersection of the reference planes. Please delete this tag when you are done. You'll see that and just do as it says. Delete the big red note blob in the generics. This is where things get interesting. JH Kelly has a shared parameters file. You are not allowed to modify this. If you do modify this file, Casey or I need to know immediately. This is a file that is a key file that only one person can make changes to at a time, and it can only be this file. So do not add any information. You should only need to pull from it. If you have any categories you needed to be added for a reason, let Casey or I know and we'll get them added for you. This is one file that if it gets screwed up, there is no recovering from, so it's critical. We're going to go up and add a new parameter. That's the fields over here, category parameters, and we want to make sure our labels are only reading shared parameters. As you can see, it's the only option available here. And when you click select, it's going to browse you to this dialog box. This is going to throw a bunch of people off, but you've got to follow this. Click edit. At the path, click browse. At the top of the path is LV storage, common, detailing, templates, JHK Revit support. This file, JHK custom data, is the only text file. So if this path does not match what I've said in this video, stop. You cannot continue and have your project work with JH Kelly projects that have been built and developed. So we're going to attach that. We're just going to OK out of this because this is still select a shared parameters dialog box. Now we're back to actually picking the parameter that I wanted to use. So the tag that we're going to be doing today is going to be our location A, B, and C. Just give me a moment to locate it. There we go. Under project data is going to be our location A. So we'll get that added in. You see it drops it over here on the right hand side with the rest of our category parameters, and we're going to go ahead and get that added. So if you have multiple parameters in here, which I'm going to go ahead and add B and C because this is going to be a multi-unit tag when it's said and done. Bear with me a second. A little boring why there's no hold music. Okay, and then over here you've got some options. You can put in some sample values. This is just going to be the prefixed or the label that's shown when you insert it blank. If you want a prefix or a suffix for some reason, you add it here. Line break, we'll put a carriage return at the end of the label. If you don't have a line break in there, it'll butt them together like it's a concatenated label. Wrap between parameters only will allow carriage return on each parameter as you move forward. Go ahead and put line breaks on the end of all of those, and that's all we want to do. So now we've got 3 labels in here. This actually isn't going to work for what we're trying to build. Bear with me a second. Okay, I need all 3 labels to be separated. They can't be in a common block for what I'm trying to do. But the joy with this is once you've created one, you can just copy it. Go ahead and freely use your copy, move, whatever tools you want to use today. Joy in here is you really don't get any alignment method other than your eyeballs. So just is what it is. Now, once you've copied one of these, you see how this is location A 3 times. That's exactly what you're going to get when you go to place it. That's not what I want, so there's no harm and no foul to going in here and doing this. Simply point the label to the new parameter, and away we go. Easy sleazy, right? Doesn't really matter what order you do any of this in. Revit's pretty forgiving as far as that goes. So legally, this label is really all we need to do. But we want to add a little bit of visibility control because we have 3 parameters here, and we want to be able to display which parameter we want based on the file. So to add a couple of types, we can come up here, JH Kelly location A. Just going to go ahead and do this 3 times. Keeps having to return and repeat the same steps. Because we're going to have to add some visibility parameters to this as well. Alright, just happen to be in our parameters. So this isn't going to be a portal to display text. What this parameter is going to be is an individual control to determine which one of these labels appear. Under your category, if you drop down type of parameter, you want to set it to a yes/no. This is basically gives you your little checkbox. And then just out of courtesy, I always try to set it to visibility when I'm done. It's going to be location A viz. The names of these aren't going to be broadcast to anybody. They'll be visible on the project, but for the most part, this isn't anything that's going to show up on a schedule. So I'm pretty loose with my names when I'm doing this kind of stuff. Revit doesn't really care, and I'm not going to step on any toes. I'm going to go ahead and create 3 of these. Remember the yes, no, and remember the visibility. Group parameter under you can change after you've created it. Type of parameter you cannot. So if you accidentally make location C and you leave it at length, for instance. Oh, an instance and type you can toggle by going back and editing it. But as you'll see here, I'm in a different category. It's a dimension, not a checkbox. Whoops, I need to change that. So we go back to modify. It's broke. Simply all you got to do is, if you can expand your columns, select it up here, delete it, and start over. It's just how it works. So let's go location. C is yes, no. Visibility, these are also text sensitive, so you can type in them, you'll see how it bounces around. Alright. So now for location A, we're going to tie our visibility to location A visible. You see how I did that? So now we're going to select location B. On your properties palette, there's a little tiny ribbon here that says visible with a checkbox. See the little tiny button off to the right? That brings up this dialog box, and this is how you're linking your shared parameter to the parent file. So now we'll see when we go back into our tabs here, we've got all three checkboxes going on. So because I only want location A visible under location A, that's all you got to do. Cycle off the checkboxes that we created earlier now. Do that on all three types of these families. Go ahead and save this bad boy as location label. Don't mind me giving it a name and all that kind of stuff, just a little bit of maintenance to do. So in your options, you notice the number of backup files. I try to kick it down to 2. Sometimes it's set to 20 by default. It's just one of those little last minute cleanup deals. And now we've created our JHK location tag. Alright, so now we're back over into our project to test our label. I had to kind of get something a little set up here. So I've got location ABC, location ABC conduit. Now we want to check out our tags. Just going to use a standard little TG. What you'll notice is nothing happened on this particular tag when I do that. And the reason being is because it's a multi-category schedule. If we go into our tags and we look at categories, you can't use a multi-category schedule or multi-category label and apply it to objects. It's just how they work. So, easiest way to get a hold of these things. But instead, we're going up to the annotation toolbar here, and they have a multi-category tag. Click this guy, and there's our location A, location A conduit. Let's check our location B's. Oh, guess it didn't grab both at the same time. Looking good so far, except I don't like how they shift. See why I keep knocking down a line every time you go back and forth? It's literally because of my family justification, the text inside the family. So if we go back here and edit this guy, hey look, 1, 2, 3. It's almost like they kick down on top of each other each time we go to do this. So let's fix it. They actually magnetically snap together on this, so it's not like I'm just kind of dragging and dropping. You'll get a magnetic click when you've got them in places where it feels that they're aligned. Let's load it back over the project. Go ahead and override our parameter values. Reselect our tags. Bam! Now it's not moving at all. Beautiful. Alright, that's what we wanted to do. If anybody has any questions or any comments on this video, you're more than welcome to shoot me an email, give me a phone call. You guys know how to get a hold of me. Hope this helps.